Well, this really doesn't feel like the week to open with good news, but there is some good news, and that's important. Two things have happened this week which are steps in the right direction. The first is that the government has continued with the legislation to decriminalise abortion and prevent women being dragged in front of the police when they have a miscarriage, or investigated to see if they've done anything to endanger their pregnancy, which was a horrendous situation we were facing. The second thing that's happened is that some of the really draconian anti-protest legislation that was brought in under the Tories has been overturned. Liberty took the Tories and subsequently the Labour government to court and demonstrated that this legislation, which prevents even mildly disruptive protests from taking place, is actually not legal and is not sound, and as a result it's now being swept back off the table. And these are, of course, small victories in one way in the context of what's going on globally, but they're huge victories for individuals who are involved. They're not the end of the process. There's more that needs to be done around abortion in lots and lots of different ways to make sure that women are not only legally allowed to access it, but also reassured that they will get it, that they will be able to afford it, that they will be able to access it when they need it, and that no one else involved in the process can be prosecuted. All of those things are important, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Hundreds of convictions now need to be reviewed and overturned because it turns out the legislation under which they were enacted is not valid, should never have been in place. There's lots more to go, and there's lots more we can do to protect protest, peaceful protest. But they indicate that we do have power and that we can change things. And they also indicate, importantly, that there are lots of different ways in which that power can get exercised. And that could not come at a more important time, because in the next few weeks, Keir Starmer is going to decide whether or not we march off to the Middle East and participate fully in a completely illegal war against Iran and inevitably other countries that get dragged into it, whether we take the side of the war criminals in Israel and attack a country that did not preemptively strike, had no nuclear capability, was participating in the weapons inspection program fully, and was signed up to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Incidentally, Israel does none of those things. It's not in the treaty. It doesn't submit to inspections, and it has nuclear weapons. It's the only country in the region which does. We do have power to influence Keir Starmer's decision that he makes, and there is no time to waste. We must exercise that power immediately. The decriminalisation of abortion move has come largely because loads and loads of people wrote to their MPs, highlighted how important it was, raised awareness, and pushed their MPs to vote the right way on it. So that does work. If we all do it, let's all make sure that we've written to our MP about what's going on in the Middle East and say we want the blockade of Gaza to end, we want Israel to be sanctioned, we want no more support. We know that the UK has, despite David Lammy saying that it wouldn't happen, been continuing to export parts for fighter jets to Israel. They've been out of Stansted Airport, you can look it up, it's still going on. The change in terms of protest laws happened because of legal action, and joining Israel in engaging in an illegal war against Iran is illegal, right? That is also a war crime. It breaches international humanitarian law. So we need to keep supporting the legal organisations that are going to let Keir Starmer know that he cannot do this and there will be consequences if he does, and that are pushing for the consequences and that are questioning the legality of lots and lots of things that the UK is doing and other countries are doing in that region. So really do what you can. Yes, join a protest. Yes, share this video. Yes, share other information that you see on these subjects. Yes, write to politicians, write to other elected officials. Yes, pressure companies that are funding Israel and that are funding these kind of things. Pressure the banks, the insurance companies. If you can afford to, fund the aid work that's going to support people in Palestine and in other places where it is desperately, desperately needed, and support those organisations that are bringing legal action to try to prevent this situation from getting worse and to try to make sure that Keir Starmer and other leaders around the world know that there will be consequences for their actions if they engage in illegal war crimes and genocide, it feels very, very hopeless. But when you look at these little victories that we do have, we have to understand that that tells us there is the possibility of more little victories and ultimately of much, much, much bigger victories. But it has to be an all of us approach, and it has to be an in all directions approach. And there is no time to do it aside from now. I'll see you next week. Increasingly, the mainstream media is terrible at informing the public of what is really going on. I'm only able to make these videos because people are generous enough to sponsor me making them, and if you're able to be a part of that, I would hugely appreciate it. It can cost as little as $1 a month, and you'll get loads of fun bonus content and lots of extras from me and my undying gratitude. I also massively appreciate it if you're able to like, share these videos and let people out there know what's going on.